On April 7th, 1984, the church announced construction of 5 new temples in San Diego, California, Portland, Oregon, Las Vegas, Nevada, Toronto, Canada, and Bogota, Colombia. This brought the total number of temples in operation to 25, with 5 planned for dedication in 1984. During the opening session of conference, Elder Russell M. Nelson and Elder Dallin H. Oakes were called to the quorum of the 12 apostles. This was the first time in 41 years that 2 new members of the 12 were sustained in the same general session. It was in October of 1943 that Elder Spencer W. Kimball and Elder Ezra Taft Benson were sustained as apostles. Later during the session, 6 new members of the Quorum of the 70 were called. John K. Carmack, Russell C. Taylor, Robert B. Harbordson, DeVere Harris, Spencer H. Osborne, and Philip T. Sontag. President Hinckley announced that these calls would no longer be lifetime callings.
After much prayerful consideration, we have called 6 men, mature and tested through long years of service, to become members of the first quorum of the 70, to serve for periods of 3 to 5 years, just as a mission president or temple president would do, and then to be released with honor and appreciation. While they so serve, they will be general authorities with every right, power, and authority necessary to function.
Because of the church's phenomenal growth and the unchanging divine mandate to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ to the world, 13 area presidencies were called under the direction of the First Presidency and the Council of the 12 Apostles. Members of the Quorum of the 70 would assist in guiding the church's growth in the various world regions. In addition, Barbara W. Winder was called as General Relief Society President with the release of Barbara B. Smith, and Ardith Kapp was called as General Young Women's President with the release of Elaine A. Cannon. May 1984 brought the dedication of the Boise, Idaho Temple. During the summer of 1984, the Tabernacle Choir was invited to sing at the Olympic Gala just prior to the opening of the Summer Olympic Games in Los Angeles. During the games, many Latter-day Saint athletes participated in the events. No one will forget the performance of gymnast Peter Vidmar.
We're back here at Pauley Pavilion, and the only man with a chance to tie Li Ning for this gold medal, Peter Vidmar. He needs a 10.
Let us never lose sight of the gospel in pursuing our temporal ambitions. We didn't come to this world to become Olympic champions, or great doctors, lawyers, or businessmen, or to become rich and famous. We came here to prove ourselves worthy of returning back to the presence of our Heavenly Father. We came here to set and reach the highest goal possible.
Our new Miss America, Miss Utah, Charlene Wells.
Later in the year, Charlene Wells, the daughter of Elder Robert E. Wells of the Quorum of 70, was crowned Miss America. During the priesthood session of October conference, President Hinckley introduced these and other outstanding individuals before the priesthood body of the church.
This is Peter Vidmar, who won 2 golds and a silver at the recent Olympic Games in Los Angeles. The best in the world in his category of sports, and a faithful Latter-day Saint and an example to us. And Dale Murphy of the Atlanta Braves, the best baseball player in the world. And we're very, very proud of him. And we're honored to have these brethren with us tonight, and happy to have them stand before you. Thank you very much, brethren. I wish that Charlene Wells were here.
Coach Lavelle Edwards, who led the BYU football team to a national championship and who would be voted NCAA Coach of the Year, addressed the general priesthood session.
If I could draw one general conclusion, it would be that if an athlete could play well before he went on a mission, he will definitely play well when he returns. And if an athlete could not play well before his mission, he probably won't play well when he returns. However, his chances of playing well are perhaps better if he goes, because he will return with a greater understanding of himself, greater leadership capabilities, better work habits, and a better knowledge of what it takes to be successful.
The 154th Semi-Annual General Conference convened on October 6, 1984. Elder Royden G. Derrick was released from the First Quorum of the 70 Presidency to serve as president of the Seattle Temple. Elder Marion D. Hanks was sustained to fill the vacancy in the First Quorum of the 70 Presidency. John Sonnenberg, F. Arthur Kay, and Keith W. Wilcox were sustained into the Quorum of the 70. During the summer and fall of 1984, 5 additional temples were dedicated in Sydney, Australia, Manila, the Philippines, Dallas, Texas, Taipei, Taiwan, and Guatemala City, Guatemala. 1984, new priesthood and auxiliary leadership, the calling of area presidencies, and international recognition for many faithful church members. On January 27, 1985, members of the church were asked to participate in a fast for the African famine victims. The offering brought forth more than $6 million.
I, for one, am deeply grateful for the opportunity to assist in blessing those of our Father's children in that part of the earth who are in such desperate need. I am confident that there springs up in the heart of each of you a feeling of appreciation for what has come to pass and will yet further come to pass as the result of many of our people with one heart doing so small a thing as refraining from 2 meals and contributing the value thereof to a common effort.
Just prior to the April conference, the 182 mission presidents from all over the world were called to a special missionary conference in Salt Lake City. Along with the reintroduction of the hymn, Called to Serve, a new missionary lesson plan was presented. The plan was designed to allow missionaries more flexibility and placed special emphasis on a reliance on the Spirit and the Book of Mormon. During the 1985 April conference, William Grant Bangerter was sustained as a member of the First Quorum of the 70 Presidency to fill the vacancy created by the death of G. Homer Durham. Presiding Bishop Victor L. Brown, with his counselors H. Burke Peterson and J. Richard Clark, were released and sustained to the Quorum of the 70, and Elder Robert D. Hales was sustained as presiding bishop, with Henry B. Eyring as first counselor and Glenn L. Pace as second counselor. 3 additional brethren were called to the Quorum of the 70, Hans Benjamin Ringer, Waldo Pratt Call, Sr., and Helio de Roca Camargo.